Hi, Michael Massey. It's Aussie Villain. I'm good, mate. I'm good. How you feeling about going back to Abu Dhabi? It'll be fine, mate. No one will remember. Yeah, long gone, long gone. But listen, mate, I want to know, are we running the new circuit or the old circuit this weekend? You don't know? Well, mate, that's kind of important. Well, what can you tell me? Lap cars can overtake. No, they can't. They can? You need help, Michael. Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Aussie Villain Racing. It is the final race of our second season, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And, well, is it going to be Schwartzman's last race with the team? That is something that we'll need to figure out, isn't it? But we do have a little bit of time between now and the next race. So let's figure out what we're going to do here. Race simulations, which will help Schwartzman. Let's do that. Reaction training, again, that'll help Schwartzman. Let's do that. And how much more time do we have here, I wonder? Team chassis building. It's just one of these things where we can just do everything, and I waste 20 minutes deciding what it is we want to do. Funded team away event. Let's do that. We can do everything, can't we? So let's just do everything then. Factory. Oh no, we can't. So that's, I suppose, all fine, isn't it? Near enough. Now, as a reminder, there is a rule change at the end of the season, so we've not been using any of our R&D points. We've also got 16, almost 17 million dollars in the bank, so that is, we're saving everything for the end of the season. Excuse me, and then we'll go on a little bit of a binge spend and upgrade facilities where we can, and of course we will look to upgrade stuff on the car as well. But yeah, the reason that I've said this before in previous episodes, the reason I don't want to upgrade anything now is because I'm not sure if we upgrade something now, it's not going to be ready till after this race and it's the end of the season anyway. But if we then have to go and protect it, so there's no point. I don't see the point in doing that. But you can see from the performance comparison thing there, we are just behind, almost equal with Ferrari. So we've had a good season in terms of developing the car. So that is excellent. The vehicle itself, we took new parts when I got. Where was it? Where did I? Was it Brazil when I had that? Was it Brazil? I had terrible qualifying. I think it was. We've got essentially a new gearbox as well. So the car is in pretty good condition coming into this final race. The sponsors are all still good to go. We can see there we need to make a decision on Schwartzman. Now I know that there was a suggestion of looking to get George Russell in as a teammate for next season in place of Schwartzman. Now he is highly rated. And of the guys in that price range, he is very much the most highly rated of them. So maybe that could be something we look to do. Maybe that is something we look to do because he's got the higher acclaim as well, which I think will help in sort of upgrading the car and things like that. If you have a thought, okay, so if we bring it down to other things aside, Schwartzman, who's been with us for a season and a half now, he's been getting better and better, that's for sure, and he is cheap. I mean, there's no denying that at 4 million. Or George Russell, who at 10.5 million. Now, there's some of that is a buyout. 89 rated, higher acclaim. Maybe that is something worthwhile doing. Let me know what you think in the comments on that one, guys, and we'll kind of go with what's more popular, I think. We've got our running costs there and the finance history. We are climbing a very, very high mountain right now. That will plunge off a cliff when we get to the end of the season. As a reminder, the championship standings, myself personally, I'm going to finish 9th. I can't go up, I can't go down. Schwartzman, oh, Gasly's got him, hasn't he? There's an 8-point gap there. If he has a really good race and Gasly doesn't score points, maybe he could get himself into the top 10. In terms of the constructors, we've done 5th, which is superb. 30 points ahead of AlphaTauri. They essentially can't catch us. Maybe mathematically they could with a 1-2, but that's not going to happen, is it? Famous last words. Last time out, of course, I managed to get myself a 6th place finish at my home race in Australia. Now, last season at Abu Dhabi, we finished 18th. Hopefully, we'll do better than that this season. And in terms of a rivalry, we don't have one. That'll, I think, at this point, pick up next season. But we did lose our rivalry to Lance Stroll, which is obviously a little bit of a bummer. So there's my driving stats coming into this last race of the second season. Let's sim ahead. Let's hope nothing goes wrong. And let's get ourselves off to Abu Dhabi for this final race. Now, I'm not sure. I think Well, the last time we raced in Season 1, it was the old Abu Dhabi track. I don't know, I'll be completely honest, if the game in an update has updated to the new version of the track or not. Judging off of that, it has not, of that track map. So it's going to be the old school Abu Dhabi. Let's get out there, see if we can finish this season on a high. Alright, so we can see the track map there confirming the fact it is the old Abu Dhabi. There is not much chance, although 14% at the end of qualifying, that's still, what, 76% or 86% chance of a dry track. The high cash balance we're very well aware of. That will be spent in the summer. No, winter. It's not football, it's Formula 1. Guys, I will be back for qualifying after I've done some free practice, and, well, I'll see you for that. Alright, free practice is done, and it's not gone particularly well. I've sort of been outside the top 10 for most, if not all, 3 of the sessions. I do post the free practice times to the Discord channel. There's a link to that in the description below if you're interested in joining up to that. A lot of fun, the Discord. I do enjoy it. But, yeah, I mean, Q1, we should be getting out of, but let's see if we actually manage to do so. Alright, we're coming around. It's actually our second lap. I've done a lap, didn't do very well, spun out at the second chicane, or the first, and then the chicane in between the 2 straights. So until that point, the delta lap is going to be fairly representative. One thing that has been happening in free practice, I've been damaging the floor of the car a lot, which kind of suggests perhaps I'm overdriving and getting on the curbs too much. And I think the reason for that, as much as anything, is just that I'm just not very good. I'm not really... Yeah, I'm just not good at the track, I don't think, so I'm overdriving trying to make up for that, and that's kind of hurting us. So this is the chicane where I spun out last time. Just got a little bit deep on the brakes. Oh, get this steering wheel back, and, well, there we go. Somehow we've got around there. Have we damaged the floor, though? That's the problem with the simulation damage, isn't it? It just seems to destroy the cars. Now, can Hamilton get out of our way kindly, please, Lewis? Don't Sergio Perez me if you can at all help it. I've got a little bit wide there. At least we get an idea of roughly where we stand against someone that does know their way around the track. It's just little things like that, and I'm not sure, because I do it so often, exactly where it is that I'm damaging the car. We've got a little bit wide there, and it's just little things like that that are hurting lap time. That's going to be something that hurts the car, no doubt. You can see it's just scruffy. It's just scruffy, and that's P8. Alright, so a second run where you can see we're at P20. That first time was not anywhere near good enough, so we need to improve. That's cheeky, but we'll get away with it. So I might not be talking too much through this lap as I just try and put something together. Is that a purple first sector? That'll do nicely. I've kind of messed it all up at the hairpin though, haven't I? And yeah, it's just... the sooner they get rid of that part of the track, the better as I'm concerned. I just can't put a lap together, basically. I mean, we're a little bit up, aren't we? But having done a purple first sector, I mean, we're certainly not doing a purple second sector, are we? I think I can see it is green, though, so we are improving still, which is good. This poor steering wheel's getting a... I'm sure you can hear me literally soaring away at it. Oh, I've gone too deep. Get it back, that's okay. Jesus Christ, this is rough.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
And somehow, I think we're going to go faster, which tells you a story, doesn't it? P15. Alright, so we did actually get through. I had to do an off-camera lap. I was coming, that's what it took to get through. I was coming back around and everybody started to go faster than us. So, yeah, we did an extra lap, and we still only, I think we were about half a second faster and still only snuck through by, what, 2.5 tenths. So, yeah, we've got into Q2. I suspect we won't be going any further, though. Alright, this is our second run in Q2. We're currently last P16, so we've got nothing to lose here. We're just going to go for it and see where it brings us at the end of the session. Ideally, we wouldn't have done a second run, but let's face it, we're not getting out of the session, so it doesn't matter. A little bit down through that first part of the sector. Now, annoyingly, on my fastest lap, that was actually a purple sector. Decent exit. We're up on the previous time, so that's good. We need about 3/10, I think, to get to George Russell in P15. So that's what we're aiming for. Well, we're aiming beyond that, but that's sort of the first obstacle that we have to overcome. Decent exit again, was it?
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
No, we've lost time there. That's one of the chicanes. It's just just this track in general. Just for whatever reason, I don't agree with it. Hopefully, next year's version of the game has the new track. Maybe that'll get rid of some of the corners that I don't like so much. But we're a little bit up here, so let's not completely write this lap off. Go through this hotel section. Well, we might be able to move ourselves up a position or two. Here we go. 3/4. Here we go. Half a second. Wow. P12. I'll take that. So in the end, well, we knew we weren't getting through, but it's P14. I think that's roughly a 36.5 is roughly what I did in the first session as well. Schwartzman has failed to go through, and in his battle with Gasly, he needs to outscore him by, I think it was 8 points, wasn't it? And then I'm not sure how the countback looks for him, but he's behind him on the grid. So yeah, that's 12th and 14th. Penalties pending. So let's see how this race goes, the final one of the season.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and P2 goes to Daniel Ricciardo, a strong showing from the Australian. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Sergio Perez, and Hamilton, Bottas, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, and Pierre Gasly, Tsunoda, Oldtimer, Sebastian Vettel and Ocon. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Russell, Stroll, Antonio Giovinazzi and Kimi Raikkonen. Mick Schumacher, Schwartzman, they've taken a grid penalty. Latifi and Nikita Mazepin. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
So, Schwartzman's on the back foot against Gasly. Gasly is ahead of us there in 10th. We are 12th, which is a good place to start. What do? I'm tempted to do the old inversion strategy, but I think if we can try and get a good start and then hold guys off, we are quick in a straight line, so let's just do that then. It's a 14-lap race, so we'll take a little bit of petrol out, and, well, let's see if we can finish the season with some points. Alright, for one last time in Season 2, let's see if we can score some points. It's going to be a little bit tough, I think, from where we're starting, and I'm not the greatest at this track, but we've not got the greatest start compared to those around us either. Can we have a little lunge up the inside? Looks like we can. We've got Alpine on the outside there. That is Alonso. Get up the inside of him. Little deep. We've got a car around the outside. That is the other Alpine. They're under Alpine attack here. Little dive up the inside. Can we get that done on Carlos Sainz? Oh, we hit the curb. Sainz goes across the curb. We go wide. It's a bit of a chaos. And eventually, it looks like we've got the inside line. Can we get a good exit without wheel spin? Not too bad, especially by my standards. But the Ferrari is still there. We tuck into the slipstream. Can we do this without running up the back of him? We've got the inside line, which is where we want to be. Can we get the lunge? We are losing the back of... Whoa, and it is Verstappen versus Hamilton-esque. I back out of it there, just trying to get a better exit onto this second straight here. We're going to be on the button in the slipstream. Can we get this done on Carlos Sainz? He's left the inside line open for us again. We lunge in, we roll off the brakes and get the move done up the inside. Nicely done, if I don't say so myself. So that is P9 as Alonso and Albon as well both forced their way past Carlos Sainz. But in all that excitement, Gasly is now 2.5 seconds up the road, and Alonso all over the back of us as well. This seems to be the part of the track where our car really, really struggles for some reason, and usually those sorts of corners are the ones that we would be better at. It's a sort of quick change of directions, like the 2 chicanes, that we tend to struggle in more. But there we go. We finished lap 1.
You're in the top 10.
P8. Now, if you're wondering what's happened there, Norris has come into the pits. I did check that back on the replay. I'm not quite sure. He had a small contact with Ricciardo in turn 1 and damaged his wing. So that's what happened to Norris. He's come into the pits, and that has promoted us up to P8. So much better points than I was expecting as the field all streams past. Schwartzman, you might notice there, down in P20 is not ideal. But, well, it's just not maybe going to be his race, having got all those penalties as well. Which is a shame, because it would have been good for him to at least be in a race with Gasly, and, you never know what can happen. And if he hadn't got those penalties, then he would have been in a race with Gasly, because he was starting next to him on the grid. But it looks as though we are cutting this gap down, aren't we? 1.5 seconds now, so we've taken a second out of the cars in front. It looks like there is a little bit of a train. Maybe it's at Charles Leclerc at the front of that train. We've already passed one Ferrari, and of course Ferrari are the team, in theory, that we're battling with, because we're just neck and neck with them in the development race. And then add to that, they're sort of the team above us in the championship as well, Constructors' Championship, albeit a long way. Alonso! With a big Aussie Villain style lunge. We're not going to give that up very easily though. We stick up the inside, have some curve, Fernando, and we get the position back. But that has, of course, opened up that gap again. Look at Gasly, 3.5 seconds. Oh, look, we've gone wide. Alonso looks up the inside. We try and squeeze him for room, and it looks like that was successful as we get the better exit out of that final turn. And look at the train of cars behind me as we go a little bit wide in turn 1. But well, we've survived another lap. On to lap 3. Now DRS, of course, is going to be available this lap, and there is a number of cars behind us. We are at the front of the DRS train. That's where you don't want to be. Can we get a good exit out of the... No, we cannot. But we've gone to the inside, which is kind of where we want to be anyway, out of the slipstream. There goes Alonso's rear wing. And you can see, just really trying to not give a toe away. Pull back towards the racing line. First straight, it looks like we've protected our position. Now, of course, there is going to be a second dose of DRS on this coming straight here, as we run a little bit wide, just trying to get the best exit I can. And just to be honest, open the steering up to try and straighten the exit. And, well, it's kind of worked, hasn't it? Because we've managed to keep them behind us for yet another lap. Well, I say that. We had a lunge up the inside coming up a few corners time here. So maybe we shouldn't be counting chickens before they hatch. We'll jump back on board. Now, is Alonso going to try something similar? Clearly, we are not very quick into this corner, and he is right up behind us. But we had just enough of a gap on him this time, as we wave at the apex as we kind of pass by the next postcode. I mean, we're definitely holding people up, aren't we? But the old Abu Dhabi track that we're on here, it is notoriously difficult to overtake on. So as long as we...
Check your MFD for a new strategy option. We're leading our teammate by 5.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be changing our strategy. I can't remember if I do or not, to be honest. But anyway, we've got a little bit of a gap. Now, if we can get that 0.8 out to a second, it doesn't matter because we're going to skip ahead to lap 6. Now, that was as close as Alonso got. We were able to sort of hold them at bay. You can see there, though, Alonso dives into the pits. Now, this is slight trouble. You'll notice as well the gap to... well, everybody's coming into the pits, so we've moved up to P5. And the gap to Bottas, who is in front, is 4 seconds. So we were sort of keeping pace with that leading group. But definitely we were holding up the cars behind us. There was no doubt about that. So this is a lap now where we've just got to try and push and push. Now, we were supposed to come in lap 8. And that is definitely exceeding track limits, as I try to get the best exit I can here. You can see we're on the button, and we are going to box this lap. I was trying to decide if it was better to do the extra laps and have the fresh tyres, but knowing how difficult it was to overtake, and we were relatively comfortable holding Alonso behind us, I thought let's not give him a chance. Let's go and pit immediately and hope that we do a good enough outlap that we're going to keep him behind us. That is, of course, a little bit of a risk. I'm not sure what the undercut potential is, but I figure we're on soft tyres. If I can pull off a good lap, use the battery down every straight, maybe. That's a little wide there, isn't it? So that's what obviously that's what we're doing, because we're going to be coming in this lap, and I do roll into that corner a little bit, maybe. I really was struggling to understand, and during the race is not the time you want to be trying to figure this out. That's very much something for free practice. But I couldn't really understand why we were so slow there. But we're coming in towards the pits now. We can get a good entrance into the pit lane. There's some time to be saved there, perhaps, as we crash across the curves. Ocon follows us.
Alright, well, we're coming in a little bit earlier than we were going to, basically trying to cover off Alonso. He is clearly faster than me, so we'll wait and see exactly what if we're able to cover him here or not. Put the mediums on. We're halfway through the race, so
You'll be racing on the exit.
you know, it's not the wrong time to do it.
Stay clear of the white line on the exit.
Hamilton has got back past us.
You cross over into the track.
Alright, let's see what we can do here. Can we get points?
See there, I mentioned Hamilton had got back past us. That's because he had stopped for wing damage as
Ahead of
well.
Alonso.
And we are indeed ahead of Alonso. So his undercut hasn't worked, basically. Sainz is back behind him. So it's pretty much as you were with 6-7 laps to go here. Lap 14, 8 of 14. Again, still they have DRS. Now we are at danger of draining the battery here. And that is, well, will be a sitting duck if and when that was to happen. Little bit deep. Can we get back? Park it on the apex. Just try and make sure he can't get a good exit. And we can see there Hamilton is 3.5 seconds ahead of us. That's not our battle. We're just trying to cling on desperately to the 8th place that we have. You can see Norris is back up there in 3rd after his early pit stop. Now, whether he'll have to stop again, I would imagine he would have put the medium tyre on and should be able to go to the end. But time will tell, I suppose. Now, is Alonso going to have another dive at us here? Let's see.
Alonso just hit me. Alonso just hit me.
He has, and he's messed it up. And you can see instantly he is dropping away from us. Now, did we get any damage from the contact? It was fairly sizable. It was definitely something that I felt.
There's been an incident on track resulting in loose debris.
Yeah, Alonso hitting me.
Marshals have managed to clear it up in time, and there are no plans for a safety car right now.
So we're going to skip ahead. There was quite a gap that opened up to Sainz and co after just Alonso holding them up through that final sector. There was no damage to our car, which, like I say, I think we can be quite grateful for that. But they have closed that gap back up. We're now at lap 13 of 14, about to start the final lap. And we've got DRS.
There's been an incident on track, but officials aren't looking to push for a safety car right now. Just be careful.
Michael Massey learned his lesson clearly, not going for safety cars with a lap to go. Yeah, but they have closed back up on us. You can see the tyres are in fine condition. It's just, as I say, I'm not good at this track. And, you know, I'm clearly not quick enough to be where I am on the track, because Alonso should have passed us. You'll notice Norris is back down there in P17. He did come into the pits again. Bottas has had a little bit of contact. He's come into the pits again. So, yeah, just through other people's misfortune, we found ourselves up in P6. And, well, Sainz, Alonso, and I dare say Esteban Ocon are all faster than us. Ocon, as you can see further down the order there as well, he had a little bit of contact. I did look back at the replays to find out what happened to all these guys. It was just little wing incidents, and everyone had to come in and change their, get their new front wings. So just by, and it's unlike me to keep my nose clean, but just by keeping my nose clean, kind of, and doing some effective blocking as we've survived that DRS zone, we've climbed up from 12th to 6th, and I mean, it's a wonderful day, isn't it? Now, this is, of course, the part of the track where we know that we seem to be slow. Sainz has a little dive up the inside. He crashes across. He's whacked into us. We've got some front wing damage you can see there. I'm not giving it up that easy though. We're going to stick it back up the inside. Sonoda gets him as well. Now, can we take these last 2 corners with relatively good speed, knowing that that front wing is damaged? The fact it's the inside might help us a little bit if there's still good airflow onto the outside, and we've done it.
No idea how we've got 6th. I think we're the slowest car out there.
Take care of the car on the way in.
Take it though.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the McLaren team, and I'm really happy to see them there on the top step of the podium.
So that's it then, Seb, heading off into retirement. Well, sad to see you go. Wonderful career, mate. Yeah, apart from Multi-21, you should have been shot for that. But anyway, what are you going to do now? Cage fighting and bear wrestling. Oof. Wish you luck with that, mate. Don't know what you're looking at, Fernando. You ran up the back of me. Well, a strange race, that one. I don't understand how we've come 6th. I really, really don't. There's a lot of cars dropping out, which has obviously helped. But, I mean, our fastest lap was a 1:38.6. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's there. It's competitive with other people that got points. But, yeah, I don't really understand exactly what's happened there. Unfortunately, Schwartzman couldn't come through. He did a similar fastest lap to us, just slightly slower. Clearly, there was some things going on. Sainz hit us twice. Alonso hit us. Ocon hit Sainz. Bottas has had something happen. Norris went through the pits 3 times and still didn't get lapped. That's impressive. And yeah, so it's just been a bit of a weird race. So the final standings for the season. We already knew Bottas had been crowned champion. Hamilton got the better of Norris for 2nd and 3rd. Verstappen only just behind Norris. And Ricciardo, who won the final race, in 5th. We finished 9th. Schwartzman ended up going down a spot to Tsunoda, so he goes to 12th, which is a shame. But he finished the season strongly, which is a positive for us. We didn't quite crack the 100 points. Maybe that is definitely something we can look to do next season. But that is season 2 of Aussie Villain Racing wrapped up. So if you have enjoyed that, make sure you hit thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. We'll be back next time for the off season. Schwartzman, let me know in the comments. Do we keep him? Do we go for George Russell? Do we go for someone in between? Let me know. We do have money to spend, so that is important. And we'll have a new. I'm going to try and get a new livery on the car. Well, not try. There will be a new livery on the car. We've got 20 million, so we can get another driver in if we don't want Schwartzman. Or alternatively, we can use the money to upgrade the factory, of course, which will help us moving forward. But those are all for next time, guys. Let me know any feedback you have, and I'll see you as we will be in the factory in the winter to build for season 3. Take care.